This is the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, February 7th from Sarasota, Florida. I'm Seth Johnson.
From Reynoldsburg, Ohio, I'm TJ Huddleston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to the HomeTech Podcast all about home technology, home automation, AI. AI is big in the news, guys.
Woohoo.
And guess what? After last week, I predicted it. Imagine this. Our government doing something stupid. I know.
No.
Not recently.
Not recently, no. No, evidently, they're going to hand over, they're doing a partnership with the U.S. National Laboratories to utilize OpenAI's AI models. Yay! And those models will be used in the nuclear security program.
Well, there goes Canada.
What could possibly go wrong, right?
Why is this needed? I mean,
I don't know. I was telling you guys,
I don't think this is needed.
nobody is focusing on the toilets. They need to focus AI on toilets and just clean the toilet, robot. And then that they don't need robots that can kill you or survive or start a nuclear holocaust. Like, it's just not a good idea.
Well, you gotta get your grift from somewhere, and you might as well get it from the Trump administration right now. So, especially with that $500 billion Stargate thing.
Oh yeah, are we going to travel to different planets?
Not going to happen, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, Stargate's a weird name for that too, right? Because as soon as I heard the name Stargate, I was like, has to be like Mars, like a Mars trip or something, right? Because their thing is called Starship. I'm pretty sure, like that giant thing, the rocket that they have.
Right.
So it's a very, very weird name. But yeah, I don't really see this $500 billion investment going anywhere anyway. So maybe we won't give our nuclear secrets to AI.
Are they going to call it Skynet?
They should call it. I mean, just get it over
Just
with.
out of fun. Yeah,
Call it
exactly.
Samnet.
Yeah.
Well, I know that was a shock to me after, we talked about last week about how robot or AIs just need to be, instead of giving them infinite power and wisdom, let's just make them clean our toilets. Don't understand it.
No, we don't want to take away jobs from, we don't want to take away low-skilled jobs. We got to take away the high-skilled jobs. That's what we need. We don't need CEOs anymore or anything like that. Let's get rid of those people.
We're going to take all of the jobs away. I mean, because they're just going to determine that they need to eliminate us. And they're going to have the power to do it. Why would you do that? Why would you just hand over the keys? Like, here's how you launch the codes. ChatGPT, what would you do? And then, of course, it's going to be like, I've run all the scenarios, and if we eliminate you, human race, the world's so much nicer. Like,
Sounds like an 80s movie.
I mean, come on.
And then the AI can run everything.
It's like war games all over again. I don't understand this. Like,
As long as it focuses on eliminating the Americans and leaves us Canadians alone, This is why I treat my bots nice.
I have bad news for you, Gavin. Winds will blow towards Canada. The fallout clouds will be placed over the top of you guys.
There goes Canada.
We're not that far away from you. So Seth is a little far away from you. But
Well, we're going to build a wall.
and America's going to pay for it.
Yes, and it's going to keep those winds out.
Yeah, well, get those, what do they call them? The propeller things that you said that you have.
The wind farms.
Windmills, yeah.
Yeah. The wind farms. Yeah, we'll go set them up at the border. Just blow it back.
All right, well, that's that. That's dumb. I have a tag in our little thing, and it's marked stupid. Because why would you do this? You don't do this. But you know what's not stupid? Guys? Our patrons. Our patrons are awesome. And we have two patron shout-outs this week. John and Vince, who are $5 patrons. That's $10, guys.
Woo!
I know, right? Let's ring a bell.
I feel special.
That's $10 more than Seth will give us. We'll never see any of that.
It's going straight to the Mastodon server. Sorry.
Can we afford the upgrade now?
Oh my, yeah, I was going to say, can we get an update now?
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
It would be bad if I wasn't paying for the update already and just haven't turned it over. So, whoops. One of these days, I'll finish that project.
I've been approving a lot of bots.
Yeah, you always approve the bots.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, John and Vince. That's really awesome. Thanks for joining, and they've already joined the Slack. So if you join through Patreon, even for $1, just $1, that's all you need. Yeah, get into the Slack, and we're always doing stuff in the Slack.
Did John get his invite to the Slack? I didn't see him join.
I thought John did join.
I didn't see John join.
John, why have you not joined?
I know.
Vince has joined.
Let's take a look. I found out there's another. Oh boy. Oh no. What's going on here? Come on.
You screwed it up, Seth, didn't you?
It was kind of going crazy here for a second. All right. So there's another way to go to invitations. Oh, you know what? He might not have gotten it.
Oh no.
It says private relay.apple ID. So I'm betting that he can't use that email.
And that's when I tried to email him, it bounced back. Same. Mm-hmm. It wasn't to his relay though, but whatever account he uses bounced my email back.
We got to put a shout out for John then, so that way he can contact us.
Yeah. So John, it looks like you used the old private relay Apple ID thing, and it looks like that email address doesn't allow invitations from Slack. So we got to get you fixed up. Reach out to us, feedback at HomeTech.fm, or, Seth at HomeTech.fm or whatever. We'll get you fixed up. We'll fix this invitation and we'll make it right. That's a new one. Thanks to the Apple ID relay things. I did not know that. Anyway, if you want to become a patron and not get invited to our private Slack chat, the hub, check out HomeTech.fm/support, and you can learn about how you can support for, like TJ said, just $1. Just $1 gets you that invite. As long as you have the right email address.
and unless we do something crazy, which we might by the end of the year, I think some of us are planning on going to CES next year. So we need money for that.
You need to start saving some money, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah, I have a CES fund I've been putting money towards. So
nice.
Oh, look at you. Look at you.
Yeah. Man, you're so proactive.
Yeah, I was just gonna like bet on something and see if I could go or buy a lottery ticket or something.
Bet on the Super Bowl this weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Super Bowl. Yeah, exactly. There's 2 teams playing.
2 teams? Is that normal?
Yeah, 2, I think. The Chiefs and the Eagles. They will be playing on Sunday, February 9th. So by the time you hear the show, maybe. Yeah. Guess where they're playing? They're playing in the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, not the Caesars Palace in Las Vegas.
Little Caesars Pizza?
Oh, maybe it is Little Caesars. I don't know.
I think it'd be called Little Caesars, but
is it not? Maybe it would be. I don't know. Anyway, there's a football game this weekend that has stuff in it and commercials, which is generally what I end up watching.
Throwing the old pigskin around.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Halftime show with Kendrick Lamar. I'm in. Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah, and you he's gonna diss Drake.
I know. Gavin, are you gonna be too? Do you guys blank this out? You guys just like there's no halftime show.
You guys, there's a halftime show.
It says here that Drake is performing. Weird.
Yeah, leave our Drake alone. Like him and Justin Bieber are off limits.
Well, that should be fun. And then if you want to watch this, you can watch it over on DirecTV Stream, Fubo, YouTube TV, Hulu, plus Live TV. I guess they're all offering free trials if you don't have cable, or you can watch a Fox affiliate because that's what there's going to be aired on. So
wasn't it? I think I might be wrong on this. Fubo was offering it for free, but you had to just sign up for an account, if I remember correctly. There was somebody that was offering it for free as long as you made an account.
Maybe it was Tubi.
Oh, Tubi sounds right. Let me see.
I have a whole article here from
Tubi
Engadget.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. So that's kind of cool to see. And Tubi's a free streaming service anyway. They are going to make you create an account to watch the Super Bowl, which makes sense because you got to get those advertising dollars in. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of cool that you can watch it for free at least.
Yeah, and Tubi is owned by Fox, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
there we go. All right, well, maybe if I can't get the old antenna to work, I'll use Tubi and tune in that way. Watch some
Super Bowl 59.
Watch some fun commercials. And the football game. Oh, yeah. Will Taylor Swift be there this year?
Maybe.
There's already bets on how fast they will show her on the camera.
Oh, yeah. What are all the side bets? See, I could start doing some of those side bets. What do they call them? Comp bets or whatever? Yeah, you can make a lot of money with those, you know? A guy could go to CES with the money he makes on those. Or he could just lose his house. Either way, I'm not sure. But yeah, the Super Bowl is coming around and all sorts of fun stuff. So we'll put a link to how you can watch it in the show notes. And it links out to all those different services that'll be carrying it this year. That's kind of nice. We've got a bunch of new HomeTech headlines this week. So what do you guys say we jump in?
Let's
do it.
All right. After a tough year, in a rough start, Sonos is venturing into the video streaming market with a new product codenamed Pinewood. It's an Android-based streaming box. It's reportedly costs between $200 and $400 and will be a streaming. I don't know why they're doing this. Honestly, this is the craziest thing. Supposedly it has an HDMI switch. Great. That's amazing. I'm glad, I guess. I don't know. And it's going to support advanced things like Dolby Atmos for the Sonos speakers it has. It will include a gigabit Ethernet and Wi-Fi 7 for connectivity. And let's see, anything else on here? I don't know. $200 to $400. Let's go around the room. Who's paying $400 for a Sonos streaming box? Nobody. Nobody's raising their hand. Okay.
No.
I want DJ to go first, actually.
TJ, go first.
I've seen this story floating around, I feel like, for like 3 to 6 months now. And the only two things that I can really think of, and I've thought about this a lot, right? And the only two things that I can really think of that make sense to me, and one of them I've just thought about. The first one being a just like Sonos has distributed audio that works and syncs throughout your house, they could do that for video, right? Because right now, if you want distributed video and you want everything to sync up, you basically have to spend thousands of dollars to do it, or you have to run HDMI cables everywhere. And so having some kind of wireless set-top box that could wirelessly sync up with all the other TVs in the house would be amazing. Probably not going to have that, though. The other option that I can see this making sense for people is so that Sonos doesn't have to rely on people having good quality TVs to use Dolby Atmos and other formats, because not every TV supports these formats out of specific HDMI ports. And so for that kind of makes sense as well, because they ran into that issue when they released the Sonos Arc, right? Because the Sonos Arc, it wasn't supported basically by every single TV out there. They had the HD Arcana Fury devices that people would buy to basically act as the middleman and stuff like that. I don't know if that's a real problem anymore. Maybe it was a problem when they started this project, but that's the only two things I could really think of that make any sense, and neither one of those really want to make me spend $400 on a streaming box. If it had wireless HDMI syncing and everything like that, that would be the one feature I think would be really cool. But like I said, I don't think that's going to have this at all.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that, but they could use it to simplify getting the more advanced audio formats on. I don't want to lend any credence to this story that this is actually a product they're going to come out with. I guess they are. I mean,
I hope it's not.
This is dumb. I was just looking up how long it takes for people to replace their TVs. There are two answers here. from the Home Technology Association says 4 to 6 years, which sounds about right to me.
Yeah.
And then Google claims 5 to 10 years, which I cannot believe. So I don't know. Maybe I've had a TV for that long. So
I don't know how I feel. First of all, I'm all for, more streaming boxes. That's fine. Like, if you want to enter the competition, go ahead. Apple's kind of, I think, the standard. Everyone mentions competing with Apple TVs. They're kind of the standard. And the Apple TV pretty much does everything, you really have to come out with a killer feature to make you want to get one of these. And I just think $400 is way too much for this, especially because even if you do get this, more than likely, you're still going to have an Apple TV anyway. I know
for the services, yeah,
for other services, right? So this is just going to be another box on your TV, and this box is probably going to do, the Apple TV will probably do everything that this box does anyway. The one thing I saw that they were talking about with this thing was creating a unified interface for all your streaming services. Whether they succeed or not with that, we will see. But I think Apple tried that. I think Google tried that. I think other people have tried that same thing. I don't know if they succeeded or how well they're doing. There's a lot of drawbacks. I don't know why they're going this way, honestly.
I think the only reason Apple failed on that front was they refused to give, or I guess Netflix refused to give them any numbers on and access to integrate what shows were popular and everything for their dashboard. But I think if you go to some other services, Netflix does do that. So it may be a little bit better of an integration, but the app, and I always just say the Apple TV dashboard thing is kind of weird and hard to use compared to other things. I hear people using they're I use my Prime account for subscribing to Peacock or whatever, because it's easy.
Yeah.
It makes it easy. I can unsubscribe whenever I want to. It's right there on Amazon. I don't know how that works on Apple, or if it's easy or hard or whatever, but typically subscription management has not been a great, forte for Apple. Let's just say they've made that process confusing. in the past.
Well, and it's definitely an uphill battle anyway, because if I tell somebody, like if I tell my customers to buy an Apple TV, they're like, why would I spend $150 on this compared to like $30 for a Roku? And I'm like, well, it's a much better product. I like Roku as well. It definitely has its place, but Apple TV is much nicer. But a lot of people just are not going to be able to justify the price, especially after Sonos has like botched the past year.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I buy this brand new device that you have when you can't even make your existing stuff work?
And this is probably one of those projects that's left over from Patrick Spence. That
100%.
Oh, it definitely is. There's no way, no way they can come out. Yeah.
I bet you, it looks like one of those projects that's probably going to fail. And unfortunately, the new CEO is going to have to take the fall for it too, right? I don't know, like, there's so much other things they could be improving or working on, and they chose to do this.
Yeah.
He can get another tattoo. He can get a tattoo with it on it, of it. That'd be cool, right, guys?
Let's do it. Yeah. Do you guys want to get matching Sonos tattoos?
No, I do not.
Oh.
No.
I thought that's where that was going.
No. I just don't care about this product. I mean, I will see what it comes out and see what it's like. But I'm like, I would be like their target audience for this, and I'm just like, no, why? I can't imagine. One, I can't imagine buying this. Two, like everybody's like, oh, it's gonna be like a premium set-top box. It's gonna compete with Apple. I'm like, premium. You're defining premium. Like I've used the Sonos app for a few years now, and I don't think you know what premium is. Like this is not a premium experience. It may be premium priced, but it's not premium experience. Like this is garbage.
And what does
Sonos
premium
app.
Streaming box even mean? I mean,
I don't know.
Just give me the streaming apps.
More than $50, I guess. I
guess it's like luxury apartments. It's like you have nice countertops. Good job.
Will they have all the buttons on the remote?
No, of course not. No.
It's going to be a 5-button remote.
It'll be no remote. You have to use the app.
Oh, I hate the app. Like, I'm sorry. I'm one of the few people that every time I launch that app, I cringe. Well, the most annoying thing is the player is always on the bottom of that app, and it feels like it takes up. I'm not even using it, and it's still there. It's just annoying. Yeah, I hate their app.
I didn't even think of that. But yeah, they'll have to make a remote. If they come out with this product, it's not just going to be this. It's going to have a remote that has to go along with it. Oh man, they could go so wrong with this. Good luck, Sonos. I feel another song is going to be coming on, so feeling some music's going to happen. Geez, yeah, you can go really wrong with a remote, especially with a design-oriented company like Sonos, Apple. Oh boy, this should be good.
It'd be one button. It's just a scroll wheel.
I laughed when you said you have to use the app, but I'm like, they used to have a really good remote, and it was basically their app.
Yeah, CR200, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was the best thing they ever had, and like they let that one go. But
there's calls for them to bring it back. People want to have that little hand controller again, which I don't blame them. Because when I'm at home, like I don't want to pull my phone just to control my speakers. Like it's nice to we have Lutron Pico remotes in almost every room, like on the wall, and so that way I can walk in and just hit it and adjust the volume or group the speakers manually if I need to. And just having that manual control is nice without having to pull on my phone. Because then I get distracted and everything.
It made the Sonos product seem like an appliance that you had in your house. And that's how you just went over. You went and interacted with that thing. You just picked it up or you just tapped on it. You could hit play. It had physical buttons on it. I mean, it worked. It worked just as fast. Well, it worked fast. Now, if they did it, it'd probably like boot up. It'd probably like, hey, do you want some headphones? Little pop-ups on it. Yeah. Come look at the Sonos Pinewood. I don't, that's a stupid little name for it, but what if they call it the Derby? And it's like, oh, it was the Pinewood. Now it's the Derby.
The Sonos Derby. It's because we're crashing our company into the ground.
It's all downhill from here. Come on to the Pinewheel Derby. Oh man. Well, yeah. Good luck, Sonos. I don't know what to think about this.
Sonos is lost.
They can also sell the user data. You know, they're not gonna be a privacy focused company that doesn't sell the user data. So just like Roku, anything and everything you watch is going to be like reported up to some ad agency for what, you know, for tracking. So I'm sure that's going to happen. It's really the only reason to get involved with this. Should be fun. And we'll have to see when you get it out. And then TJ will have to buy it and return it. Because
I'll buy it from Best Buy and return it. Don't worry. I'm not keeping it. Hopefully.
All right. Well, big news from Amazon. They have announced a February event in New York City, sparking speculation about the launch of its new Alexa digital assistant. They talked about bringing in, combining Alexa with the large language models they've been working on. This was announced way back in September 2023, and it's yet to be released. In fact, there's been a couple of news stories we've covered over time that was just like, yeah, we had to start from scratch because this doesn't work at all. So yeah, Gavin, I know you said something about this before we started. Are you excited for the new smarter Alexa?
I am excited, but I'm also nervous. I'm excited because new features, AI, making the device better and stuff. But I'm also nervous that they're going to probably add on a subscription service model to it.
Oh yeah.
What's that going to look like? Is it going to be $5 per device? Then I'm going to have to pay $80 a month to just keep my house running. Or is it going to be something they just lump in $10 on your Prime account and you're good to go? I don't know. I don't know what to think of this. It's one of those wait and see type of things, but I'm all for them making it smarter because honestly, it's out of all the speakers I've tried, it's probably the best working one. I mean, it has its flaws and stuff like that. All of them do. This one I've liked it. It worked for me the best, but I'm nervous that they're going to screw something up at this event and it's just going to ruin it for me. And, with the Home Assistant voice, out now and everything like that, there's some other options out there, but they're not as good.
Yeah, I haven't really used Alexa recently, but I would be interested in a smarter speaker. I use Google right now, and I don't even use it anymore just because it seems like it's such a pain in the butt to use. And so maybe I'm only going to tell you guys this, but maybe AI will fix voice assistants.
Yeah,
I don't have hopes it'll fix anything else, but maybe it'll fix voice assistants.
We'll see.
Just how much is it going to cost us? That's how we'll have to find out.
In the end, it's going to be cost. And then I hope they don't take away features we currently have and then put that behind a paywall too, because I think they've done that in the past with some other features. So this is why I'm a little nervous. It's like, oh, now you can't integrate it with like Home Assistant unless you pay a $5 a month fee or something. Then we'll see.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll raise the price of whatever like the hardware would be too. Because they've typically, we've known that they ran this product as a loss leader for a long time, like in the tune of billions of dollars each year. So I'm curious to see if like a premium AI enabled Echo speaker comes out and the price point is much more expensive than the regular one, and maybe in that is they have some subscription built into it for a little bit that you can test the fancy stuff out, and then Alexa will be like, "Hey, I'm getting dumb next week. This is gonna be like a Flowers for Algernon. I'm just gonna go backwards, right?"
The other part that has me really nervous is I hope they don't they introduce all these features and they add this AI, but they restrict it to their devices only, so it doesn't work with my like Sonos speakers. Because
I would go even beyond that. Like I think that I'm wondering if it's only going to be new devices that they offer.
Like in a number of my rooms, like I use the Sonos integration. It works great, and the microphone and those things are amazing. I have to admit, like we could be watching TV, it's loud and everything, and I just say her name and it lowers the TV volume. Like I love that stuff, right? But if they go and they start like crippling those, I'm not going to be a happy guy. It's going to be like a 2-hour show of me ranting. I'm warning you from now. First week in March, that show is going to be a rough show if they screw this up.
Clearing the schedule now.
Yeah, clear it now. Free up space on your podcast app and stuff like that because I'm going to be mad.
Get the bleep bell out again.
Yeah, it's going to be a heavily edited show for Seth.
All right, well, let's move on here. We have an update from friends of the show over there at Apollo Automation. They spoke about this in the interview we had a couple months back, I guess at this point. The Temp 1 temperature sensor has been released. It offers a local, private, and an open source solution for measuring all sorts of stuff. Let's see, what's this thing got? It's got RGB, it's got a buzzer, it's got temperature, humidity,
probes.
Right? Yep. It's got everything. This thing has it all. What can't you do with this is what I want to ask.
The nice part about this sensor too, it's the type of sensor where the main brains of it sit outside your fridge, and then you can have a little thin sensor that goes into your fridge, so you don't have the whole device with the battery in your fridge and stuff. It's all ESP home based, so it works great with Home Assistant. You know, these guys, if you haven't, they hold a live stream every month, and I join and I listen in, you know, on their live streams, and they talk about things they're thinking about, things they're working on. You know, they talk about some of the challenges they have. This last live stream, they even mentioned soil sensors, you know, and it had me even more, you know, engaged with them, right? So we'll see where that goes. But
I thought you were about to say moist.
Yeah. They got me moist when they mentioned soil sensors, you know, and thanks to them, I now have 2 plants in my kitchen because, you know, I've been so successful keeping the one plant alive with their soil sensor for the plants that I got a second plant. So I'm getting another sensor, and now I get notifications when it needs water, and I don't have to think about it. You know, I spend less time worrying about the plant and more time enjoying the plant. You know, I take it for walks, you know, we cook dinner together, all sorts of things, you know. So these guys are great with their sensors. Like, go check them out.
Yeah, and their live streams are great too because they remind me of Eric over at Innovelli.
Yes.
Where they just like share everything. And the live streams are very informative. So I like listening to that even if I can't participate in the conversation.
You can get a lot of options with this. You can get
many options.
Yeah, you can get a small temperature probe, a long temperature probe, a food probe. You can get it with or without a cable, a charger, or both a cable and a charger. And then you can also get a magnet mount. And there's different variant. You can get a battery. You can get a non-battery version. So there's all sorts of little options that you can get on this. This is fun.
Yeah, and that's what's nice about Apollo. It's like all of their sensors basically do that, where you can buy like wall mounts or outlet mounts or different adapters and stuff like that. That's one thing I really appreciate about Apollo because they understand that there's not a one size fits all. Like the sensor is going to work for you no matter what, but you're going to use it for different reasons. So,
and I just want to say for all the Canadian listeners, they now ship their shipping is handled in Canada, so we no longer have to wait 4 weeks for it to arrive here, you know.
Nice.
Yep. Got cheaper shipping. It's better now.
It takes a lithium CR123A battery, or what is it, a 16350? Is that what it is? 16340.
I've recently bought like a pack of those and chargers and stuff like that, foreseeing my future of buying more of their sensors.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things that use the 123As.
Yeah, I recently bought... TJ's probably had this problem. Like out in the field, if you need to tone a wire, you use those little wire toners. They always take 9-volt batteries for some reason.
Ugh, it's always the worst.
Well, I found on Amazon rechargeable 9-volt batteries, and they take they come with like a little squid cable, right? There's like 4 of them in the pack, and they come with a little squid cable. Yeah, I got one right here. Here it is, and it's got USB-C. So it's got like a little squid cable USB-C. You plug it in. And they charge up, and then you have a 9-volt battery that you can actually recharge in the field and don't have to like leave and go to a grocery store to find a freaking 9-volt battery or rummage through the customer's house and find a 9-volt battery. Which is generally what I did in the past. But
do you guys buy a lot of rechargeable batteries? Because I've been thinking about buying some just because I have so many things now, but I'm not sure on brand.
I don't think there are brands anymore.
I know like for a while there was like Interloop and some other ones.
I think there's one called Owl or something like that on Amazon that gets good reviews. But I don't know. This is a Letum.
Oh.
Yeah, a Letum. I don't know. And it was just it was a USB 9-volt rechargeable battery. So I was like, you know what? If I'm always running into the problem out in the field where these stupid, like the stupid little switches on those toners always gets turned on in my bag or whatever.
Yep.
And then you get them out and you're like,
never know.
Yeah. You press it and you're like, the light just doesn't even come on. You're like, oh my God. And now you got to find a 9-volt battery. You got to rob it out of another one, but it takes a screwdriver. So now you got to go find a screwdriver. It's just awful. But yeah, 9-volt battery. I've seen more and more of these batteries these rechargeable batteries come with a little USB-C on them, and you just stick the USB-C in it and it recharges it. I think that's a great idea.
Genius.
Yeah.
Especially for something for a toner too, where it's like you might use it quite a bit, but the battery usually lasts quite a while.
Lasts forever. So. Yeah. And this is lithium. I have no idea how long this is going to last. 1,100 milliamp hours. I don't know what that translates to a 9-volt battery, but it's got to be better than cursing as much as I have in the field over 9-volt batteries over there. God, if anybody cared to make a decent toner in this world, they would not put a 9-volt battery in it. They put like a hand crank. You know those hand crank radios that they would use that. You just crank on that thing and then like plug it in and tone the wire out.
Now I need a solar panel.
Yeah, like one of those flashlight radio things that you get from grandma or whatever. Like just crank on the thing.
My Samsung remote comes with a solar panel now. Why can't I do that with everything?
Mm-hmm. Apollo Automation. We'll put a link to it in the show notes. I noticed you guys talking about it. There was a lot of people talking about it in the hub. Everybody was like, I ordered one. It'll be interesting to see what everybody ends up doing with these things. All right, let's move on here. And if you want a CES show to listen to, I think there was a really good one. The latest episode of Home On, which, go over to the digitalmediazone.com and you can download it there. You can download it in your podcast app of choice. Jimmy and Richard basically did a rundown of what they saw at CES. It was great. There's like interviews and stuff mixed in. I really enjoyed that. So go check that out. TJ, thanks for putting that in our notes here. It was good. It was a good show.
I just want to correct something. Did you say Digital Media Zone or the Digital Media Zone?
You got to put the "the" in there. The Digital Media Zone.
Just make sure. I don't want Richard to yell at us. So
no. Link is in the show notes.
Good. Hey, look, it matters what you say. No, it was a really good show. I didn't really I paid attention to the news articles coming out of CES, but I really didn't listen to like any like videos or podcasts about CES. I think I listened to The Verge a little bit, but they didn't really talk about home technology stuff that much. And so it's nice to hear Jimmy and Richard talking about home technology and all the cool stuff that they saw there. What were they talking about? There was something that was really cool.
The battery?
Was it the battery?
House battery thing. Yeah, they had
Yeah, the house battery was really cool. What's that company, though? BioLite. One of the things that I've been looking for in my house, and I don't know if I'm going to do it this house, probably the next one, is some kind of basically just a battery backup for the whole house, right? And most of the time, people would just do a generator. And generators are fine. There's nothing wrong with a generator. But I don't really want to dedicate space outside of my house to a generator when I could put batteries somewhere. And the biggest thing for me is basically what I assume a lot of other people have is where they just want to back up their fridge or their freezer. So that way if they lose power, they don't have to worry about losing all their food, right?
Mm-hmm.
And last year I got a 30 amp outlet installed with a giant battery backup for just our automation and networking equipment. And now my stuff lasts like 2 hours basically if I lose power. But I've wanted something for my fridge, but there hasn't really existed anything. Like you could buy like whole house batteries and stuff like that. This company, and I'm sure other companies as well, make basically a wall mounted battery pack that you just plug into the wall and then you plug your device into it and that's it. And it's like $2,000 per battery pack. It'll run the fridge for a good amount of time. I think, what was it saying?
Between 15 and 30 hours for the one pack. And then if you get to the 2-pack, it's 30 to 60 hours of power. So it's not a bad idea.
And that's great because for me in Ohio, I really don't lose power that often. And if I lose power, it may be for a couple hours. Mm-hmm. And so really it's not that big a deal, but it'd be nice to have something like this. And $2,000 is pretty reasonable. A generator would probably still be the better option just because you would get more power out of it and everything for maybe the same cost. But the battery backup, you don't have to have anybody. You literally just go install it yourself. So that's the appealing thing of it.
Well, like here in Florida, when we have the power outages from the storms or whatever, you have that point in time where like the refrigerator, you start your timer, right? And the refrigerator is going to have a meltdown or whatever over, I don't know, 24, 48 hours probably. This keeps it running for another 15, 30 hours. You have plenty of time to figure out what you could do for a generator or pull food or do
just
what you
eat all
do.
The food at that time,
Yeah.
And you can chain them up too, so you can have as many I think up to 8 chained together, so you can have it last a while.
Not a bad idea.
I'm getting my panel replaced in March, and one of the things I asked them to do was put in a transfer switch. Mm-hmm. So, I will have a generator. We have a generator, and the new transfer switches, he says, really easy to connect and switch it over and everything, and the generator runs off gas. So it's just a matter of, getting some gas and putting it in there, which is what I'll do for these situations. We don't lose power often, but it's like, when it does happen, you want to be prepared.
Yeah. And you never know how long it's going to go out for, right?
Exactly.
Like that's with us. I think the longest we've lost power for here has been like 6 hours or something. But I don't know if that's going to keep happening. It might be 12 hours or 18 hours the next time. So,
Well, there was that one time, I want to say it was in the early 2000s where they had the big outage up here. We lost power for like 3-4 days in our house, right?
Wow.
Yeah, in the fridges, yeah, we lost everything in the fridge and everything like that, right? But you never know if that could happen again. I mean, if they let AI run the power company, who knows?
I know it's happening. I know it's going to happen again. It's happened already. It happened last year a couple of times. It'll happen again. So that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I kind of like it. It's an individual appliance thing. You want to put it in the fridge. You can protect it that way. It's not terrible.
Yeah, it's a good idea. And like I said, no electrician or anything needed, which is the biggest thing, right? If I wanted to have a generator, I'd have to have somebody come out and wire it up and do all this stuff. And obviously the generator would do the whole house, or at least more of the house. But I don't know. Battery's pretty nice. So,
yep. UPS for your fridge. Pretty cool.
That's right.
All right. Well, all the links and topics we discussed tonight can be found over on our show notes at HomeTech.fm/515. All right. And we do have a mailbag this week. This comes in from John, who we mentioned earlier. Thanks, John. Super supporter of the show here. Says, right, guys, I've been a listener of the show for a long time, but it was the Ballad of Patrick Spence which sealed it for me. I really need to pay you for the entertainment value, if nothing else. Well, thank you. Thank you, John. He says, I have to say your podcast is the one I look out for each week, even when TJ gets silent. TJ, he knows your name.
Oh, man. That's two.
Presumably he said something that your new president took exception to. Yes, Seth, we all know that you took the rap for a mistake, but we know the truth. He goes on, one thing I'm not sure about being a subscriber is, does it give me full access to Gavin as a service? And I would say, yes, it does. Message away. He's British. He lives in London, big city. He says there's a 5-hour time difference, but that's as fine as Gavin as a service does provide 24 hours support, correct? I think so. Gavin was telling us his schedule for tomorrow for work. And I mean, it sounds like he's going to be up 24 hours to get that done. So anyway, Gavin is a service. He says, can I call him at 4 p.m. If you don't mind sending me his number? I expect him to answer immediately and give me a rapid response solution to all of my home assistant issues. It sounds like John's got this figured out. I really think he's gonna give Gavin a run for his money here.
I already sent him Gavin's number and address. So
perfect.
That way he just automatically connected.
I already sent him the bill, but the email bounced back.
Yeah, the email bounced.
So yeah, John, I wrote up a big response, attached the bill and everything like that, and the email bounced back. I don't know why, but reach out to us again, and we gotta get you in the Slack channel. But yeah, if you have a question or something like that, you can reach out. I'll respond when I'm available, though. I can't guarantee. One thing I can't guarantee is I can't guarantee I'll solve your problem, but I can guarantee I'll get you to spend money.
Oh yeah, we do that well.
Yeah, I'm really good at that. Yeah.
Sorry. Well, thanks, John. Thanks for the support. Thanks for writing in. That was funny. I really like the the time frames here that we're dealing with. Man, we've got to encapsulate Gavin in some kind of AI service. It's gotta happen.
Gavin.ai.
Gavin chatbot.
I'm going to hover right now. Is AI a domain?
Is there Gavin GPT?
Sure. We need to make a Gavin chatbot.
There is Gavin GPT. I almost bought that once.
GavinGPT.ai. What about
Gavin.ai is taken.
It's taken.
How about GavinCampbell.ai? Yeah.
Gavin as a service? Gas.ai. I think that's probably going to come back.
Gav.it.com is available.
Gas.fun. Why not that? It's only $2.99. Should get that one.
Gas.it.com.
GavinAsAservice.com is available.
GAAS.bot. There we go. That's what we need.
Gasbot.
Oh, that's $79.
What's GavinAsAservice.com?
Is it taken?
I think it's free.
Free? No, it's not free.
No, I think it's available. I mean,
I still think gas.fun is, but no, gas.com is taken. It says on my end.
No, Gavin as a service, the full.
Oh, I got to write. No. Come on.
Anything 4 letters is going to be taken.
No, gas.fun is available.
Well, .fun. No,
Gas.bot is available.
Mm.
Gas.ninja is probably available. Gas.lighting.
Yes.
Okay, gaslight you.
Gaslighting. There we go.
It's our new lighting design program.
Oh, it's too good. I wasn't expecting that one to be available, but there it is. Gas.camp. Gas.charity. Here we go.
I'm doing it for free.
We're doing it for free. Gas.chat. Man, those get expensive. Wow, there we go. I think we'll pass on that one. Yes, there's gas.support. Again, $29 though. Whew.
Ooh, you'll have to design my website for me too.
Yeah.
And then we got to put a cost to my support costs to pay for my trip to CES.
Yeah, there we go. That's how we can make money. Wow, did they really come out with a .zip domain name? That is stupid.
Yeah.
That's a Windows nightmare. I'm sorry. Rest in peace, Windows administrators.
It's been there for a while.
Whoops. Let's see. Yeah, there's so many. If we're gonna do gas, then the options are just they're endless, depending on just how much we want to pay here. So,
well, pick one and see how you want to pimp me out. Hey, you gotta set up the all the purchasing and everything like that.
Yeah.
We don't even need permission because there's no rules with AI. So
No, exactly.
Yeah,
we just do whatever we want.
pay per hour.
Gavin gets no money out of it.
Here's the gas.xxx. There's an adult section here.
I can recommend good videos.
Just keep sharing them with me. It's really weird. Let's see. We have options here. There's so much. There's so many we can buy here. Gas.Christmas is even one.
I only work during
report.
December.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
A gas party. We've got that. I between gaslighting, gas.bot. I don't know. We'll have to figure this one out. There's so many though.
Gas.ai is taken.
I mean, this one though, GavinGPT.com is available. So kind of.
But we need the gas in there,
Yeah, I know, right? Gas chat or gas support or.
People will put me on retainer, they'll pay for access, and I have SLAs. I'll respond within so many hours, or
gas.casa is available as well.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a pretty good one. I use the .casa domain for my house. Just stuff I have in my house. I'm like, yeah, casa, that means house.
Gas.app is only $30,000. That's within our budget.
Yeah, I think pass on that one.
Oh.
It's definitely not within the budget.
Just a couple $1,000 off.
It's a few.
We're so close.
Gonna have to cut the website.
We get a couple more Patreon subscribers.
Yeah, just a couple. Might have to cut back on travel for CES next year, but yeah, there we go. That's too funny.
It'll be a nice little side hustle, answering people's questions, and do you pay per question?
Gas.tax.
Gas tax.
That's a good one.
Gas tax.
Gas tax.
Oh, that's too good. Yeah, you got gas chat. I really like that one.
Gas chat's not bad because it could be live chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It could be a live chat. It could be a bot. You don't know. You don't know until you show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll have to figure this out. Gavin is available. Gavin is offline. Talk to the Gavin bot.
Gavin has 50 messages waiting.
Too good. All right. Let's move on to the pick of the week before we get spend too much money here. Got $10 to spend. We got to spend it. Just wonder where it goes. Where's the money go? Domains, servers. Sorry. Let's see. Pick of the week. We've got a TJ. I think you put this. This is from Reddit. Using an Aqara window sensor to detect toilet flushes. And I gotta say, this is probably not the most long-term solution I've seen. But inside the toilet bowl, they have mounted an Aqara window sensor, and on the float, they mounted the magnet. And if the magnet moves away from the contact, well, that means the toilet's flushing.
Yeah, I actually had these exact same sensors outside on my gate, and they lasted about 2 weeks. And that was being directly rained on, so I feel like it might last a little bit longer, but I don't really see this lasting too long. What I find funny, though, is that one of the comments says, does it automatically turn on the fart fan? Because that would be the obvious use case, right? When you flush the toilet, the fan turns on. And the person says, not a bad idea. Just using it for data tracking right now. You're just tracking how often you use the restroom? They're not even doing any automations with it?
Just get some graphs, you want to learn how long the toilet took to refill and all that stuff. So
I was like, that would have been the first automation I would have done, is that the fart fan turns on for 5 minutes.
Can you imagine going to somebody's house and they had this hooked up and you flush the toilet and the fan came on? It's like, what just happened here?
Why did the fan turn on?
It's magic. What magic is this?
I have one of those, I think Gavin told me not to buy it, but I have one of those Akara VOC sensors that I've never got working with mine, and that was the intention of it, is to that when somebody was using the restroom, it would turn the fan on automatically, but I just never got it working right.
I convinced you not to buy something? That doesn't sound like me.
Yeah,
well, you didn't convince me because I still bought it. You told me not to buy it.
Oh, you didn't listen to me,
Yeah.
Learn the hard way.
Just buying more Akara stuff that doesn't work that well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of funny comments in this thread. I'm just going to leave it as is. And if you want to check that out, it's over in our show notes.
That's good automation, though.
If you have any feedback, comments, questions, picks of the weeks, great ideas for data tracking, give us a shout. Our email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or you can visit HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. All right, project updates. But first, we got Home Assistant updates and major updates. Major updates to backups. I guess, there's some Gavin, you were saying there's some community complaints about the encrypted backups, and you said, they'll probably get around to fixing it. Well, they did. Here it is, 2025.2.
Oh, yeah.
Major updates for backups.
I was still writing 2024. I haven't gotten over that. Okay, 2025.2 updates. Yep. They're iterating on the backups. They've listened to the community, and they're allowing you to do things like turn off the encryption on certain backups, depending on where they're saved to, or download unencrypted versions. They've also allowed you to customize the time of the backup. They've added the toggle so the backups now happen like they had before, where you can select backup before you do updates. They modified file names and added new locations. So in the end, I was saying it was the first stab at the redesign of the backup. Now they're kind of refining it with all the input they've been getting. And you could tell they've been listening to people. So when people complain, Home Assistant listens. But other things, they have a lot of voice updates in this one. They've added features like calling analog phones. I think that requires other hardware. Doing broadcast messages, setting the temperature. The LLMs can now reference calendar events, or they have access to shared history now. And something.
Can they clean your toilet yet?
Not yet. We'll get there.
No, you won't. No, we won't. They're going to bomb us before that happens.
Probably. But they also mentioned something called Model Context Protocol. And I think what this means is just, I saw Paulus put out a post this week talking about making like an open standard for interfacing with all these models and stuff like that, so that you can integrate them easily.
Yeah,
it's a great idea, but this space still hasn't settled yet, so we'll see where that goes. But, I think Home Assistant's preparing for stuff like that, right? And as usual, new updated integrations, some Bluetooth love in there, and some breaking changes. So go update. I updated today, within minutes of it getting released. It didn't break anything in my setup. I'm happy. Go for it. Enjoy.
So one of the integrations was Homey. Homey's in there, so you can integrate your Homey smart home system directly into Home Assistant if you want it. And what is the other one? There was a couple of other things in here. I think you covered the MCP ones, the Model Context Protocol, and Google Drive stuff. So that all kind of came along with the other stuff. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that Homey was being put in, so that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Backwards incompatible. Wow, they got a bunch here. It's always something that breaks. Oh, well. But
that's Home Assistant.
Really cool that, who writes all this stuff? They have to have LLM write all this, right?
The notes?
There's so many notes.
This is Frank doing it. Yeah, and he sits there. Yeah, because you could see, if you look at the beta notes, you could see it as he adds and adds and adds. He slowly goes through all the changes in the GitHub, and he writes it all out. He does a great job, but it's not an easy job.
No doubt. There's so much here. Jeez. All right. Very cool. Press update and see if it goes through. I should have done it earlier. Oh, well. All right. I did a plumbing project last night. I don't know why.
By choice or?
Yeah, unfortunately, this one was by choice. We noticed there was like some water at some point on next to the shower that my daughter uses, and we're like, "Where's that water coming from?" And we asked her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I saw an ant coming out of that hole, so I poured water down in the crack there."
Wow, that's good. Pest control.
Yeah. So evidently she'd been doing that for a bit, and so we have one of those old cast iron shower tub combo things, right? From like the 60s, way back in the day. And I pulled the little door down to kind of see what was going on behind there. And there was a lot more water behind that than I expected to see. But it turns out I think some of the like something was leaking either through the tile or, a crack or something, and getting back behind there and causing more damage. And probably what the little ants or bugs or whatever were coming through the hole that she found were interested in the first place. Like they're probably going there. So I proceeded to take apart, probably too late in the night, the valve, and remove everything and replace some of the O-rings. I actually had O-rings. I was prepared somewhat, but and then I went to put it back together, and the stupid valve wouldn't go back in. And about this time, it was about 10 o'clock. I was really regretting things. I was hot and sweaty, and all I wanted to do was take a shower. And I realized, wait, I can't even turn the water back on to our house because it's just spray all over the room if this valve's not back in. So I just started. I basically had to use a hammer, and I hammered it back into place. And now it works, but I put it in upside down. So, of course, the hot water is cold and the cold water is hot now. And my daughter thought that was hilarious today when she took her shower. She just thought that was the craziest thing. I thought it was funny too, but probably not for the same reason.
Are you going to fix it?
No, of course not. I barely got that thing back in there.
Get some spray paint, respray the handles,
It just like take a Sharpie and mark on the right.
Yep.
Yeah. You're very gutsy for starting a home project at night, because maybe it's just me, because I always need something whenever I start something.
Yep.
But I have to do like 3 trips to the hardware store no matter what the house project is.
Especially with plumbing. I don't know what made me decide to pull that out and try and fix it at the time I did. And then when I looked up, I'm like, oh no, Home Depot's closed. Ace is closed. I have no backup here, and it's not going back in. So yeah, it's just a public service announcement. If you start a plumbing project, don't start it. Well, first of all, just don't start it. Hire somebody to come do it, because you're gonna regret, you're gonna hate your life. And then second of all, if you do start it, don't start it at 7 o'clock in the afternoon, and then run into problems. And it would have been nice if I could just have gone and bought a new valve for the stupid thing and replace that instead of all the little O-rings and everything that I probably got wrong. But you know what? It's back in, and it works, right? There's not water leaking everywhere now, and it's backwards, but oh well. What are you gonna do? I'm not replacing.
That's a problem for future sets.
Anyway, that was my fun. That was my project. Yeah. It's a problem for whoever. I don't know. This thing, it's the original valve and everything, so I'm not gonna replace it. It's a problem for later. We'll replace the valve in the shower and everything before I deal with that again. So not going there. Anyway, it looks like you know what, TJ, we're gonna go with you first. Gavin has an amazing project update that he's gonna have to share with us. So
yeah, Gavin's way more exciting than me. This week, I've been working on the den. We got a couple days of nice weather. It was like 50s and 60s. It was a crazy heat wave. And so you can follow me on Mastodon or Blue Sky and see the pictures there. But basically, I had to remove like half the plywood from the wall because it was all rotted out and everything. And I had to replace like 8 studs. And the water damage was just crazy. I think there was termites back there at some point too, which makes sense because we had termite damage in our kitchen whenever we did our pantry. So this year I'm definitely going to have to get treated for termites just because I don't want that issue to come up again. But I went through and I replaced all the plywood. It's kind of patchwork, just little pieces everywhere, but it's getting covered up with wrap and stuff like that anyway. So I don't think it really matters that much. But we're getting some nice days. So hopefully I can get that part finished and then we can start drywalling here in the next month or two. Because that room is, it'll be nice when it's all done. But right now there's just holes in my den. So
Do you have the drywood termites there? I don't know. Or do you have
There's
the
different
bad ones?
termites?
Yeah.
I didn't even know there's different termites.
There's the drywood ones are the ones that go in and kind of live in the wood for a while, but then there's the one that goes under the ground, and I think those are the bad ones. Like, I don't know.
We mean they go under the ground, like they live there?
They go underground, and you look on the side of your house and you see the little like termite tracks where they're going up into the house and eating the wood. Those are the ones that like destroy things fast. The drywood ones, we have those here. I had those in my house, had the tent and everything for them. But I guess they go in and they kind of eat slowly or something. And then 5 years later, they swarm everywhere. Like they just come out. I don't know. It takes them a while to decide to leave. And that's when we discovered we had them, as we saw them popping out one at a time out of these little tiny holes.
Mm-hmm.
And so we tended the house and killed them off or whatever. But I guess if you have the ones that are, it looks like you have mostly subterranean ones. Those are the ones that are bad. So, but you would see that, I guess, on the side of the house, like you would see little tracks and stuff.
Yeah, well, and we're on a slab foundation too, so I don't know if that makes any different. But we don't have any active termites as far as I can tell, unless they're somewhere else in the house. I hope not. But everything I've found so far looks like very old damage. Like the one in the pantry was pretty old. This one, there was only like one track, like I guess one, whatever. I guess they're called tracks. But it was like one track on one piece of wood, so I don't think it was that bad out there. Yeah. Maybe they were moving to the den before they got treated for them or something, but not enough to be concerned about at least. But I should probably go ahead and just get the house treated this year.
Yeah.
We got offered, there's some company, one of my neighbors knows somebody that works for a pest control company. And so he's going to come around and put chemicals in the ground to do things or something. I don't know.
There you go.
They go around and they drill the ground
in.
And put baits in and stuff like that. And it's supposed to last like 3 to 5 years or something crazy. So we'll probably just do that.
Yep.
Not have to worry about it for a while. It says it helps with ants and spiders and stuff too, which will be nice because we get a lot of ants.
I know a guy that has some spider stuff he can send you.
And needs some peppermint oil.
It's still working. It's still working. I don't care what anybody says. My rack is like web free, so screw y'all.
Hey, it's funny too because we're all thinking about it because Justin sent me a photo. Justin from Apollo Automation sent me a photo of some spider repellent, and he said, "Moving out of the basement to our new building, bringing the spider spray."
You see,
they haven't come up with a sprayer yet.
They
though.
really need to come up with a peppermint sprayer when it detects a low peppermint volume in the air. Put a little mist. And, just put it on the rack, top of the rack. It will just...
That's right.
Oh, you see, those are great ideas that even Sonos should take.
This sounds like a Sonos product.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, absolutely.
My next thing, I ordered a new product. Don't tell anybody. I ordered a bed sensor. This is elevatedsensors.com. I don't know the full story on this, but I believe this started off as an open source project. And then the person that was working on it, basically they kept the open sourceness alive. But they started this, they started this. And so for $70 for a king size bed with dual sensors, so you'll be able to detect both sides of the bed. I'm gonna get this here in a couple weeks, and I'm very excited for it. I don't know what automations I'm gonna set up yet. I think one of the first ones I'm gonna do is our lights are activated by motion. And one of the things I really don't like is that sometimes my lights, like if we go to bed early, right, my lights will turn on automatically still if it like detects the cat moving or something like that. And so I want to eliminate that and just basically use it, do the automations if we're in bed or not. So if neither one of us are in bed, then the automations are working. Because the other thing is I don't have my automations for motion or Sonos starting until 10 a.m. in the morning, just in case one of us sleeps in or something. And so it'd be nice to be able to automate that portion. And so that way it just knows if we're out of bed. And so they're doing this shipping in 2 phases. They weren't able to get the actual bed sensors immediately. And so I think right now we're getting the actual sensor. And then in like 2 weeks, we're getting the little cable things that sit underneath the mattresses to tell if somebody is there.
That's weird.
You could just use it for data collection. That's all.
Yeah, just like the toilet sensor.
Yeah. You're like
you
me.
lay down in bed and the fart fan comes on. Whoops.
You're like me, just, load up all the sensors. We'll figure it out later,
That's right.
Like, I was telling you before this show, I'll probably put a little tile on the dashboard that, if my wife ever complains, I got no sleep this week, I'll say, actually, based on this tile, you've spent 40 hours in bed this week. So I don't know what it is you're not getting there.
Yeah, I've wanted one of these bed sensors for a while. We have them in the security world. We use it for assisted living, though. And so we use it underneath chairs or couches or beds or anything like that. And so that way the caretakers can know if the person got out of bed. But there's not really an easy way to add those to Home Assistant. You can make your own bed sensors by using contact sensors and stuff like that. I don't want to make my own thing. I want to just buy something. So I got that. And then I've started working on the garden. It's still winter time, but I tend to get a very late start on the garden every year. And this year I'm determined not to get a late start. And so I've already started the seed ordering process. I've got to build some new garden beds. And I've got to contact our friend, Maxwell over at Aquaflower, because I need to buy one of those new Aquaflowers. They're coming out with them, I think, March for the release date, and I need to get one because that was super nice to have. So if you got any suggestions on things you like to grow, maybe you should send me an email at feedback at HomeTech.fm. Let's see what garden setups you guys are going to do.
I'd give you a suggestion, but I don't think it's legal there yet, is it?
Is it weed?
I think you can grow 1 or 2 plants, right?
Well, so we can grow 6, but Republicans are trying to take that away right now.
Oh,
so.
Of course.
Of course.
Can't have freedom here. Yeah. But yeah, we have some seeds. I need to try that, but I haven't got that far.
Just be warned, they grow really fast.
Grow like weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I know or anything, but I'm just saying.
Not that you would know.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got going on this week. What do you got going on, Gavin?
Yeah, Gavin, what's going on?
You guys are doing real projects and stuff. Oh man, all right, let's take it back to tech a bit here. First of all, I was debating whether I'd actually talk about this or not, but I was like, screw it. TJ probably said something that will upset people anyways by now, so they won't remember this. But I want to give my honest opinion of this Home Assistant voice now that I've had it for a week and I've been playing with it and stuff. Right,
Gavin, you can't do this. You can't say anything bad about. You can't. No.
You know what? Sometimes you have to say something bad for good to come out of it, and this is one of those situations where I just have to say I don't like it. Straight out, I don't like it. I can't use it. It's unusable to me. So okay, where do I even start?
Wow.
Yeah, where do I? Yeah,
a ringing endorsement from Gavin.
No, you know why? Is because I've seen all these people online doing the reviews and saying it's the greatest thing ever, and people saying I'm going to buy 10 of these for my house and blah blah blah. No, you can't. No, it's not. I'm seriously, there's problems with this thing. First of all, yeah, for basic control, I can say, hey, blah, 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 and then wake it up and tell it to turn on the lights or whatever. I always find that the first time it doesn't really catch me. And the second time it does, I'm like, all right, whatever. Okay, so basic stuff, it works. Okay, great. It's fast. Yeah, it's local. Okay. But I want it to do more than that. My current speakers do a lot more than that, as much as people complain about A-Lady, I can ask her about current events and stuff like that and get certain answers, right? So I decided to connect it to my Olama assistant, my Olama setup, right? So I can get some more, better answers. Well, for some reason, it was crashing my Olama. Right? So I'm like, what the heck is going on? It took me forever to figure out that when it communicates with the Olama, it seems to send over all the data from all the entities over so Olama can do it. And that's too much for Olama. Olama cannot handle that many entities and that much data. So I had to cut all the entities back and now I have to really restrict what it has access to. And I'm just and then it was doubling the memory in Olama and it was just costing me more money. So that was the first thing. And that was really, ticking me off, right? Because even when I do connect it to Olama, it still isn't as good as asking the A-Lady for stuff because Olama won't reach out to the internet and get current events and stuff like that. If I want to know who's playing in the Super Bowl today, I can't ask my Home Assistant. So it's not replacing my other speakers.
Can't ask me either, evidently.
But
that's true.
The one thing that really drives me nuts and is the reason why I cannot use this, right? And I know people are saying, well, it's just a preview edition and it's just whatever they want to call it. You know, that's the one thing about Home Assistant is everything's always embedded on that. It feels like how they cover their butt. Like, how long has the Matter integration been in Home Assistant? It's still beta. You know,
it's all preview edition.
Yeah. All right, to be fair, Matter is a beta. It's gonna keep being a beta.
Like, so yeah, but this one thing that really drives me nuts. I cannot use this thing if there is any sort of noise playing in the background, right? So when I have my TV playing in the background, I can ask the A lady whatever, and she hears and she filters out my voice, and that's what $1 million, $1 billion company gets you, a nice thing that can hear you properly. With this thing, I would wake it up, say whatever, and it will still keep listening because it hears the TV or it hears the music and it's still listening. It just won't stop. And I have to turn off the volume to everything and be in a quiet room to be able to talk to this thing. That makes it totally useless for me because how often is your room constantly quiet? You know, it's never constantly quiet, and I cannot use it. And I know they showed things where if you have it playing music, it will lower the volume of the music and filter out your voice. It's got to filter out your voice from everything else around the room. And again, that's what $1 billion gets you with the Amazon stuff. It does that type of stuff. I can't use it because I'm not going to stop my TV and turn out and make the room quiet anytime I want to control it. It just makes it pointless. So they have a long way to go, and I'm not saying they'll never get there. You know, I just think if you're looking at this as a replacement right now, really think about it because those reviews online really misled me as to how good this thing was. And I don't know if they're getting paid for it. I don't get paid for this. If they want me to say good things about this, I'm willing to take a payday. You can put me on your payroll. I don't mind.
From the free open source software place.
Yeah. Like I can be bought easily. Don't worry. We'll have a website set up soon where you can purchase me for an hour at a time if you want.
Ooh.
But that's my honest review. And I had to go there with this because, you know, people, you know, I feel I'm doing my job if I give you an honest review of things, you know, and I'll probably upset some people and they'll probably reply and send me messages. You know, I was probably wrong about something, but you know, this thing, I can't use it, you know,
we're going to get canceled.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm in Canada. I'm protected by the U.S. Army.
So Amazon has a pretty large
budget,
like machine learning. Yeah, well, a budget. Yeah, for sure. But I don't even remember, like a lot of these companies like Google and Amazon started making products like audio products way back in the day. Like Google had like Google Voice.
Yes.
And they would use it to like transcribe voicemails for a while. And they were like, it got really good at learning what a voice sounded like. So they have all these like, they built up the software around it. And then they also were like, you know what? We can probably do this on the hardware side. So they have like these trained machine learning things that they have. I think Amazon's called Voice Focus. You can actually use that. It's a software product they offer. So you can like spin up an EC2 instance and process some audio using their model. It's pretty much what they use on it, but they have it like built a smaller model of it built in on the Echoes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Without having to go back out.
But that's not
maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. I don't know.
That's not the part that upsets me though. It's like all these reviews you read of people just giving it the like 5-star review, and it's like, listen, do you really use this thing?
Probably not.
Yeah. You know, do you really use this thing? You know, like I've only had it this would be the second week I've had it, you know, and I can't use it. Like I've tried and I cannot use this thing, right? It's working. I got it working. When I accidentally turned on every switch in my house at one point, and I still don't even know why I did that, but it's just, I'm not a fan. They have a lot of room to grow, and I will continue to watch it, see where they go with this, but there's some key usability issues for me with this. So I just felt I had to give my honest up. I feel better now. This is a safe space. This is a safe space.
Get that off his chest, and
the next one's worse. So
the Home Assistant army is going to come after us now.
Yeah,
so
and I'm fine
I'm not
with
even going
that
to publish this episode.
We're getting canceled.
I'm good with that. You know, I'll take the heat. You know, nobody listens to this show anyway. So, but going into this is going to shock a lot of people, right?
This shocked me.
Yeah,
Still shocks me.
Yeah. So this week I decided to, take a look again at the Unify Protect setup and the cameras and everything. So, I have it on my Dream Machine Pro, and I was like, all right, let me order a couple of the Unify, what are they, G5 cameras. They're nice little cameras too, right? And let me just
G4 Instant camera, is that what you're talking about?
one, yeah. And they're really nice cameras. They're well built. They feel solid. You just plug them in and whatever. And I was like, all right, let me try out this Protect thing that Seth and TJ's always been talking about how good it is, right? And I plug these cameras in, and instantly it shows up, easily adds, they're good to go. I'm like, great. Then I started playing around with all the settings. All right, Unify Protect is the real deal. Right now, that's all I have to. That's. I was just
mic drop.
Yeah. So the third-party camera integration to me is the game changer of this, and one of the reasons why I never looked at it, because you were kind of stuck with their gear and what they had, and they didn't necessarily have the best cameras out there. And I understood that, but I didn't want to invest in buying all their cameras again and still not having the best experience with it, right? But their software has come so far in terms of offering detection for people, cars, animals, right? Which is basically what I've been doing in Blue Iris, writing a script to filter all the, potato and stuff it detects down into people, car, or animals, right? The audio detection, the recording, the interface is so much better than Blue Iris, which anything's better than Blue Iris in terms of an interface, right? Netscape's a better interface than Blue Iris is, but it is such a good product with all the features. You have line crossing, you have, and the one part that blew me away was the integration with Home Assistant is it's so good. Everything's exposed to Home Assistant. You can write automations based on all this stuff, pretty much stuff that I was doing in Blue Iris. And I started looking at my setup going, why do I even have Blue Iris anymore?
That's what we've been asking for a long time.
Okay.
I'm just like,
thought I was so crazy.
You guys have been talking about this for a while. And again, it's ever since they've been opening it up to third-party stuff is when I started looking at it again. But you guys suck at selling stuff. That's all I have to say. You didn't talk it up enough. You guys just said, yeah, it's pretty good. It's got a good interface. But no, you have to sound more excited. Like add some emotion to when you're selling stuff, right? And that's what you guys lacked, is the emotion that didn't get me excited to go try it, but now I see what you guys are talking about. If you sign up for my course, I'll have you selling this easily, right? But the integration is awesome. Of course, it works great with their cameras, the setup of their cameras and everything. It works great. I've been playing with the third-party camera, so I just added them directly. And for what it is, it's just recording. And that's great. Just view and record. Most of my cameras are just recording or not recording. It's just meant for live stuff, right? And I've ordered an AI port. It should be coming soon where I'll play with it. That gives it all the AI smarts on a third-party camera. So that will bridge the gap. My plan this year, I put together a new plan. I'm calling it Project Unify. I'm going to be redoing my camera setup at home, and I'm going to be moving everything over to Unify. For the most part, I'm still waiting for TJ to come to Canada to run all my PoE lines, right? I'll be putting in, mostly as many Unify cameras as I can, like in terms of their brand. But for some cameras, I'm going to want to look for a better camera with better like night vision and stuff like that. And that's what I'll use the port for, is those cameras, because, I understand that there's some cameras out there that are way better than Unify when you want to pick up things at night, especially. And that's what I want to do. So I'll use the port for those, and it will still give me the nice interface, the integration, everything I wanted. It's all built into it. I don't know how else to talk this thing up, but it's come a long way. It's looking really good. It's not cheap. So I guess that's the other argument right there, is people go with Blue Iris because they buy cheap cameras, and but my Blue Iris setup was going into like getting video cards and AI processing and all that stuff, which made it more expensive, right? Where, like I'm still fighting with like snow triggers and stuff like that, where, with the Unify, I'm thinking I'll be getting away from that. But there's still things that I'm looking at, like before the show, I was looking at the API and seeing how I can get like images into Home Assistant, you know, when it triggers, so I can do things like on my TVs. I have it pop up when there's motion in certain cameras and stuff like that. So there's certain things in my migration, but right now I have them both running, right? And I still have like the Unify will use as the interface, and my Blue Iris I still have running as like doing detections and stuff for most of the cameras. And they're working hand in hand as I work through this transition. Now I'm introducing the new app to the wife later tonight. You know, I created her account and everything so she can view all the cameras and stuff. And the first thing she's probably going to say is, this is so much nicer, you know, than the Blue Iris. And I get it. But this software has come a long way, and it's looking really good. And I see why people like it. I really want to replace my doorbell soon with the unified doorbell. I want to, you know, get that going, you know. So TJ, you got to get things sorted out. I need you up here.
I feel like I have to defend myself here because I feel like I've been slandered over here or something, because I've always talked up Ubiquiti. I think Ubiquiti's camera software is the best. Where they suck, though, is their cameras.
Yeah.
And so that's their cameras are good when you're in the more economical cameras. So the $200 cameras are good enough. But then when you start getting the $300 or $400 cameras, they're not as good as the other $300 and $400 cameras. And also installing them is a pain in the butt. They have like the worst mounting hardware ever. Other than that, though, they are the best cameras in the field, and I will recommend them almost every single time, unless somebody needs color night vision,
which I want,
because color night vision is the one thing that some people want, and you need that in certain areas. Like our house, we have to have color night vision. When I moved in, we had Ubiquiti cameras everywhere, but they couldn't see anything at night because it's so dark.
Yeah, and even in my front, I'm gonna want a really good camera that does license plate detection and stuff like that in my front. So, you know, when I get to that point, I'm gonna be leaning on you guys for recommendations and stuff like that. Once the wires is run, I could swap out the cameras as needed and do what I need, right? But yeah, that I know some people are shocked because I was a big Blue Iris fan. I still am. It's very powerful software, but the Unify, I feel, has caught up in terms of like a lot of their features. And again, the fact that they're opening it up to third-party cameras, I think is a big thing.
Yeah.
Right. Just because now you have options out there.
And you mentioned it's expensive. Like, I don't know, like the NVR, the UNVR is $300. Like, in the grand scheme of things with the software you get, I really don't think like that supports up to 18 4K cameras or 60 1080p cameras. I think at the grand scheme of things, like that's a pretty
well. It depends, because the UNVR, that's just one piece of your whole solution that you're going to need for this.
No, you just need that. You don't need anything other than the UNVR.
Don't you need PoE, a PoE switch if you're going to go all PoE cameras and stuff like that, right? That's
you
where
need cameras.
Start to add up, right? Is when you start getting it to PoE switches and stuff like that.
Well, sure,
you know?
Sure, but like, say you're in your situation where you already have the cameras. Like, you're talking about swapping out a Blue Iris software.
He's got to get new cameras.
I need new cameras. I'm going to be getting the PoE switches. I want them all hardwired. You know, Project Unify this year is going to cost me a lot of money.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, like it's worth it.
I think I really feel like, and I kind of know, like they have a bunch of products in the pipeline, and I'm really hoping that we see, like, they have to have a better night vision style camera
on the way.
On the way. Yeah,
I hope so. That is the one thing that's missing.
Yeah, and maybe it'll get released before I get to that point, right? But for now, they don't have anything I like in that aspect. So I got the port, and I'll get, you know, I'll integrate my current camera setup. But I eventually want to get those all swapped out. Right. And when you're looking at price, like I look at price a little differently. You may compare it to pro pricing and stuff like that, where I'm comparing it to like the lower end stuff, I guess, the cheaper stuff that like,
you have Foscam right now. So.
Yeah. Or I'm comparing it to even the Ring camera.
Everything's high end.
Yeah. Like you get a little bit more, it's a little bit more expensive than the do it yourself stuff, but not as expensive as the pro stuff. So it's that middle ground. It's a nice middle ground for what you're getting. I think
it's. I think the most apt comparison for Ubiquiti really is the Sonos ecosystem, right? You can buy cheaper speakers, you can buy cheaper cameras, but you're paying for the experience and you're paying for the ecosystem.
Yep.
Well, and their cameras are I think their cameras are overpriced for definitely the image and what you get out of them. Like I'm looking at this, let's just say the G5 Turret Ultra. That's a 2K HD camera. It's $129.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not actually not a terrible price.
It's really just when you get into their higher end cameras. It's like the AI Pro and the AI Turret and stuff like that. It's like
$500 for an AI Pro, and I know that IR is garbage.
Yeah, and it's like 82-foot IR range, 3-times optical zoom. So I mean, it's not a bad camera, but for $500,
yeah.
But when you're designing the layout too, you gotta look at what the purpose of that camera is gonna be too, right? So if you want something to do license plate detection in the front of the house, detect people at night and stuff like that, you invest in a better camera, and it's not going to be a unified camera. Whereas like if you just at the front door, you don't need something that sees 20 feet out. You just need something that sees 2 feet out in front. So you don't need to invest in something there. And same with your backyard. If you have something pointed just at your back door, you don't need something that can see 30 feet out. Maybe IR is just good enough too for that where it's going. So I will be looking at that when I look at my camera decisions, but I'm going to try and get as many as the Unify. But then again, when I need really detailed stuff, I'm probably, like I said, for my driveway, that's what I'm going to probably invest in. Something with the Starlight, or after seeing your Starlight camera in the backyard that you had.
No, that's old. Starlight.
I know.
Starlight's first generation.
But even when I saw that, I was so blown away at the night quality when it was total pitch dark out there, and it was like, it looked like it was daylight out almost. I was so amazed that I'm like, I want that.
Yeah. It's well worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to imagine that Unify has something on
the radar.
The radar. They've got, I mean, they're such a forward-looking company. Like they've got, and they seem to be investing in more of their products these days. Like even in the camera lineup, I'm looking at this, the AI LPR, which is your license plate camera you're looking for.
Yes.
But there were the other one, the AI Enhancer, which is $180 add-on for the that AI bullet camera we were talking about. It adds integrated radar for detection of people up to 20 meters away and vehicles up to 35. It's got a built-in floodlight. Like, that's crazy. And a loudspeaker as well. If you want to start, I guess, yelling at people on this thing. I don't know.
Get off my lawn.
It's really funny. But anyway, like they have a bunch of cameras here that they are a little overpriced, but if you're looking at them from like the pro space, I guess they're competitive. They're almost competitively priced at this point. Like, I can kind of look sideways and see what they're doing, but as a pro, I can still buy much cheaper cameras, much better features that will probably honestly last longer than these. It's disappointing to see them do that, but I don't know. They've got all these little add-ons and everything. It is a good ecosystem.
Yeah.
I think the ecosystem really takes it, right, in the interface. Yeah.
And I really have to plan out the HD, 2K, 4K stuff, because when it comes to the Dream Machine Pro, you're still limited on the resources and how much of the cameras you can get. And I already got a notification that I was almost exceeding the max at this point, right? And that was just because I have a couple extra cameras that I'm testing with. But if I do get a 4K camera or whatever and put it in the front, that I'm gonna have to cancel like 2 other cameras, or may have to even upgrade and get the UNVR or something like that to handle more cameras. So we will see where this takes me, but this is my plan.
I've been really happy with the UNVR. One thing I really hope they do in whatever, maybe it'll be the UNVR AI, is they built in some of the AI add-on products.
Yeah. The AI key and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Build something into it. Maybe it'll make it a $400, $499 product like the UNVR Pro. I don't know. But like, I think they definitely have like a way, something they could do. If you open one of those up, there's like no guts to them. They're just like all like hard drive trays and like tiny little board in there for a computer. So like there's plenty of space in these cases that they make to put fun stuff, but they haven't had to, and it's still a nice product. I've been, like I said, I've been really happy with that versus other software. And
yeah,
maybe not even Blue Iris, but other software like I've used and other like hardware NVRs. I have the UniView in VR that came with these cameras that they sent. Like, it's okay. It's a Chinese made in VR. The software is meh, and like I got it to the point where I can look stuff up and kind of like look at the live feeds, look at the replays and that kind of thing. It's just not it's nowhere near as nice as a user experience, right?
Yeah. And there's a lot more to it with my decision too, like integration with Home Assistant, for example, and stuff like that, and the AI detections. Like there's a lot to it that Blue Iris can do, but this is now seems to make it so much easier and better.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome to the fold.
I'm not gonna bad talk Blue Iris yet because I haven't broken up with her yet. But I will, say the plan is, like the relationship's coming close to an end. I may not renew my subscription. We'll see.
This is like when you switched from Habitat to Home Assistant.
Oh man,
it feels like a monumental change.
It was like I may just leave my Blue Iris on with one camera just to feel like keep that connection there.
That's all right.
We'll see, because I remember switching off of Habitat, and I still had it plugged in. I could see the green light, and I felt bad every time I looked at it. It's not flickering or anything. But then the day came when I had to turn it off, and then she's with another partner now, so I found her a new guy, and maybe I'll have to do that with my Blue Iris. Just find it. Gotta move on.
You never know. Yeah. I went to one of their other tabs on here, and I was looking at does anybody remember the Power Amp?
I haven't heard much about that recently. I see a couple photos pop up on the Ubiquity website, but
yeah, it still exists, but I haven't heard anything about this thing.
Well, I assume that the market for people using hardwired speakers is already very small, so I don't think we're really going to hear much about these anyway.
I really think they missed the mark completely on this by not doing an 80 volt or a 70 volt version of it for a commercial.
That is weird.
Completely missed the market.
Should have had a 70 volt.
Yeah. Oh well.
Maybe that's why the dial is removable, so that way you can switch it.
It's not removable.
Switch it to the new amp.
Wasn't that Power App announced recently too? Like
it was like 6 months ago or so.
Yeah, it was back at Cedia time frame.
Yeah,
like right around then.
Oh, I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, five months ago.
$600 Power Amp for 2 speakers or 4 speakers, I guess technically, but don't think so. Well, that's fun.
So I know you're in shock.
I am actually in shock. They also, Gavin, you also have the option.
Is it free? Don't mention it unless it's free.
No. It's not free. Oh. But you can order the UNAS Pro and use their Ubiquity NAS drive. I think maybe you can store some camera stuff on there. I don't know. Maybe you can't.
No,
you can't.
No, you can. The Protect has a feature in it where it can export recordings to a NAS or something like that. That's something new. I think they recently.
Okay, I was gonna say that wasn't there.
Look at how much I dove into this. Is that I know these new features now, right? But they added a new feature where you can export to a NAS, because I was looking at exporting videos to my Unraid to free up space on the drive. So they've been doing a lot with this software.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to keep us updated. So what they're updating in the software that TJ and I've been running happily for years.
Yeah, I'm still confused how you didn't think we were talking it up, but I'll let it go for now, I guess.
No. You were talking it up. You just didn't give me that kind of like feeling like like you guys were talking up to the point where it's like, I gotta really get in on this, No, you guys are just it's a better option, and stuff, No, when you talk up stuff, you gotta get me excited, Like,
what's the last nerdy thing you have to get rid of? Is it like the HTPCs? Is that what the last?
Those I will never get rid of because I do way too much on those.
I mean, that's what you say now. You said you never get rid of Blue Iris like a year ago.
I looked at all the competition. I do way too much on my HTPCs right now throughout my whole house.
Just wait till the Sonos streaming box comes out. You never know.
Well, I don't know, because on my HTPCs I can sync video on multiple TVs in my house at the same time. So like that's through my MB and Kodi and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that is one of my nerdy things I still have running that you guys probably don't approve of.
This time next year, Gavin's not going to use those anymore. So
I have to upgrade all the PCs because they can't handle Windows 11 and the Windows 10's falling out of support. So, I'm going to be upgrading those too. Expensive year this is. Maybe I won't go to CES.
Sale of stuff you won't be able to buy.
Yeah.
Because you don't have any more money.
Yeah. But I want to go to CES just so we could do a show with Richard.
Yeah.
You know, I felt missed out, you know, like I want to do a live show with Richard too.
And we can say we're pressed so we can get in early.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
If they'll believe us.
Go to those fancy dinners he was talking about. That's I was like, Richard's been to enough CESs where he knows which things to go to. He was even like helping out the home assistant crew, like which ones to go to. So like, yeah, I think he's the one to go with.
Next year.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. We made it to CES, so I mean we gotta make it to CES.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to figure out how to add storage onto my Unify thing. Right now.
Oh, if you go into if you go into GavinAsAservice.com, you can hire me. If you under your Protect, it's under is it settings?
There's like a storage manager and a recording manager now. That's kind of the new thing.
Managed storage. Where did I see this again? Console backups.
Right.
No integrations. No. It's under
I have on my camera.
recording manager. No, storage manager. Where the hell is it again? Update archiving, linked accounts. Nope. Continue archiving. Nope. I don't think that's it. There's a way you can add a NAS drive as archive area. I just can't figure out where it is again. That's one thing they're still juggling. They still have things in weird places.
Their settings are a mess everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's better now that they don't have like the old interface prominent a lot of times, but I find their settings confusing a lot of times.
I clicked on it the other day and I was looking at it. Control plane.
What else can we get Gavin into so he can figure it out for us?
He's going to be clicking around all night looking for this thing.
I was looking at it like today or yesterday. I was looking at it because I was like, oh,
here it is. I found it.
Where is it?
So this is crazy. Under the gear for the settings, right?
Yeah.
You go to systems and then archiving and then add an account and then it's got NAS drive.
There you go.
So it's not under anything else. It's not under the recording manager.
Yes, that's it. So now, but that's it's not recording to a NAS drive, but it's archiving. So you can have it move old stuff off onto Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, or your NAS. This is what I was looking at.
Well, I mean, and that could be kind of what you want.
Yep.
In effect, because you don't really need to like look if there's something really old, you can go back and look on it. But like, I mean, what do you need for longer than a week? Unless you're out of town for that week or something, and you want to find out what happened, you can go back and look. But
well, with how many cameras do I have set up in here right now? 14, I think it is. And most of them are just playing with, but it says capacity of 67 days, and all of those cameras are constantly recording, and it's a 3 terabyte drive.
It has continuous archiving, automatically upload and store camera recorded events in real time. So so it's built in now.
Yeah. So
yeah, you could get their NAS drive, and you can just or you could just use your Unraid and just
create a share app. See, I taught you guys something today, and I feel good about that.
I knew they were doing this for like Google Drive and whatnot, but I didn't realize they had added the NAS drive.
Yeah,
so
that's
nice.
new as of 5.2, I think.
Okay. Well, great job, Unify.
Good job.
What's a recovery code? Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. I'm still learning.
Report false detection. I don't want to report anything. I'm not a narc. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap up everything this week. We do want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, but especially those who are able to financially support the show through our Patreon page. If you don't know about the Patreon page, which we've already talked about before this week, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support so you can learn how to support us for as little as $1 a month. Any pledge over $5 a month gets you a huge shout out here on the show. But every single pledge, every single one, gets you an invite to our private Slack chat, the Hub, if you enter a valid email address. If not, I don't know where it goes. Anyway, if you want to help out but can't support the show financially, we totally understand. Just appreciate a 5-star review on iTunes or a positive rating in the podcast app of your choice. That's going to wrap up another week here on HomeTech. Everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Take care.
Till next time.